KFI AM 640. It's later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. It's now time for Tech Thursday with Marsha Collier, who joins us in studio. Marsha, it's always great to see you. How are you this evening?
Oh, great. You were talking water.
Yes.
Room temperature,
yes.
no ice.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
That's it.
You need to school these youngins out there.
It's good.
Extol the virtues of water.
No, really, water is great. You know what's even greater?
What's that?
A vinyl album.
I can't disagree with that. Go ahead with that.
Well, what was interesting, vinyl sales are trending up. In 2023, 4.3 million records were sold in the U.S. versus 37 million CDs.
I wonder, though, what place CDs have in today's society. In other words, I understand why people want vinyl. They still have utility. DJs will still use them. Collectors will still buy them. I don't know where CDs fall into this category of why people would buy them.
They're slipping between the seats right now. They really are.
Mm-hmm.
People who are paying for downloads, they only accounted for 434 million, which is less than a third of the sales of vinyl records.
I get it. It makes sense. I mean, why am I going to pay for a download when I can listen to it on Spotify? I can find it on YouTube. For someone who's under the age of 30, they don't know, Marsha, the importance for us liner notes or, who played the instrument on this song or who wrote the track. All that other information that we would find on liner notes, I don't think young people care about that.
Well, let's break this down. People, first of all, we can always argue sound. Because sound on a CD is encoded digitally.
And compressed. Yeah.
And it's not what you play one vinyl next to a CD. And it's
for those who don't know, if you have the opportunity to listen to a vinyl album single in headphones, you get to hear this dynamic range. The highs are high, the lows are lows. There's a mid-range. You get to hear the fullness of the sound and the recording, whereas on an MP3 or a WAV file, it's compressed and it's all pushed together. In headphones, you can really hear the difference.
In a John Williams movie theme, it will sound totally different because great music needs vinyl. But then again, Mo kind of mentioned about liner notes. And you may not know what liner notes are. So when we get albums, and they still do this today, if you are a person who gets a vinyl album, on the other side, you have a beautiful piece of artwork normally. I have a wall at my house where I have a Janis Joplin, I have the first Beatles album, I have like 8 albums, Jimi Hendrix, and they're all
You're just showing off now.
I'll send you the picture. And I love them, but the records are in there, so I can't play them, but at least they're not warping. But the thing is, on the other side, when you're sitting there with friends and you say, I want to hear some Jimi Hendrix, you pull it out and then you find, look, my third cousin was playing trumpet on that tune because everybody was credited. You learned about all the people.
But then again, I know the response is, well, I have Wikipedia. I can just type in who is the songwriter, who is the guitarist. I'm quite sure that would be the response to it. But there is something to be said for the tactile availability of a physical liner note to, as you're listening to something, to read about it and also learn something about it beyond what is Googleable on the internet. I appreciate that. But there's also something else. For as much as we may say that vinyl is eclipsing CDs as far as sales, I understand why people would still prefer the MP3 or the Spotify or YouTube, because that audio, even though compressed, doesn't degrade.
But sometimes people want to support the artists.
Well, Spotify is not supporting the artists.
What was it? Weird Al once said that 80 million streams could earn him $12.
No exaggeration.
Mm-hmm.
No exaggeration.
And that's ridiculous. So, I mean, you support an artist. Taylor Swift made up to 7% of all vinyl albums in 23. So think of that. Swifties want to support her. She isn't making it on the downloads.
Where do you think, from your knowledge of tech, where might this go? Is this a fad? Is this a trend? Or is this portending that vinyl is going to be coming back in a big way for a considerably longer period of time.
I think like fine Swiss watches, I think it will become an art form even more so. I mean, like Taylor Swift, think about it. She'll release the same album in different colors and sell them to the same people.
You made a great analogy there, and I don't want you to skip by that. You think of a fine Swiss watch, it's analog, it's not digital. It's usually made of more valuable materials. It's not plastic, it's not aluminum.
Yeah.
Has much more staying power. It's going to be around physically longer than the watches that most people wear today.
Exactly. And the watches, Patek Philippe, I mean, you think of Rolex, you think of brands like that. They're not going away. They thought they would. Oh, the Apple Watch came out and everybody's going to have...
Tag Heuer.
Yeah, exactly. And people never gave them up. They're
Citizen.
They're
I'm saying, I remember some great watches.
Weren't they?
Mm-hmm.
And they're worth a lot of money today if you come across them at garage sales.
Movado.
I got so angry at Movado. Movado was my first fancied watch. It broke.
Mine too.
And that same one with the circle.
Yeah, the circle on top.
Yeah.
Basic black face.
Yeah. And it broke. And I called them. Oh, we're not making that watch anymore. We don't have parts for it. I said, how dare you? That was my first big investment in a watch.
They were not cheap. That much I do know. And it was a status symbol, but everyone would recognize a Movado when you saw a Movado.
It looked so cool.
When we come back, let's talk about American Airlines. They've announced this touchless ID program, and I'm thinking, why would I want a touchless ID if I have a real ID? Is it going to work in concert with that, or is it something else? I'm quite sure Marsha Collier will be able to separate it and explain it to us on the other side. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640, we're live on YouTube. You can see us right now. We're live on Instagram. You can see us there, and you can hear us as we're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI, it's Later with Mo Kelly and Marsha Collier. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. Marsha, let's get right back into it. American Airlines has announced this touchless ID program. What is it? How does it work? And what does it mean against the backdrop of Real ID?
Well, first of all, it won't be just American Airlines. It's anyone who has TSA PreCheck can benefit by this.
That's me.
And American Airlines is the first to put it in action at limited airports. Right now they have it, let me see, at Dulles, Ronald Reagan, LaGuardia, Hartsfield, Atlanta, and Salt Lake City.
It's interesting you say Ronald Reagan National, which is in the heart of Washington, D.C. It's a very difficult airport to get a flight into. That matters because most of the time when I go to D.C., I fly into Dulles because that's about the only time I can get flights into D.C. that are reasonable. Yeah, well,
this will be great. So let me explain to everybody. I'm sure everybody's heard of Collier.
Yep.
Okay. Collier is something you pay for. And they verify your ID before you get on the plane, and they walk you over to TSA PreCheck so that you can get ahead of the line. What is TSA PreCheck? You apply for TSA PreCheck online. It's like a 6-page application.
Yes, it is.
Then you get called, and it asks everything you don't want people to know. And then you're called in for an interview.
Yes, they do.
In person. With a security person. And I had forgotten that I had been to Canada, because to me, Canada is the U.S. And
because they ask all about your travel, if you've left the country, where you've been, how long, and so forth.
Because I travel extensively, and I got an extra long interview. But anyway, what TSA PreCheck allows you to do is when you're going on a plane, you'll see that line says TSA PreCheck, all your ID, because you've gone through this. You get to go in. You get to get on the plane. You don't have to take off your shoes. You generally don't have to take your laptop out. Now, the icing on the cake, TSA PreCheck costs $78 for 5 years. Then you get the golden pass to me, which is global entry. Global entry works if you've ever gone out of this country.
Yep.
When you get into the U.S., there are these lines. It looks like Ellis Island on a bad day, if you've ever seen the old videos. If you have global entry,
you bypass it. I could be very arrogant when I have my global entry. I kind of like just wave at the peons. It's like, I'm not going to wait in the line. You can bypass that getting through customs. It is wonderful.
You just walk in right behind the crew.
Yes.
Usually.
Mm-hmm.
And you just, hey, and the nice man says, you got anything to declare?
Nope.
I usually say, I declare.
No, I have nothing. I bought nothing. I'm doing nothing wrong, and I'm not on the run.
And
it gets me through.
Always. And they take your picture as you go through, because there's a little machine. You put your passport on. Bingo, it's done. It is faster than mobile entry with your passport if you use that app to get into the United States. That is very valuable and doesn't cost a penny. So that's a TSA app that you can get for no money at all. But Global Entry is gold because it helps you even when you arrive in another country. So what Touchless ID is going to do is when you first use Touchless ID, you get your photo taken as you get to the TSA agent because you already have TSA PreCheck, right?
Right.
So you don't have to put out driver's license, passport, that little card with the star. None of that nonsense. The system will then compare your picture that they just took to the hundreds of thousands of pictures they already have of you. And don't kid yourself. If you I don't want the government to have my picture.
Oh,
I felt that way. And then one day I'm standing in London and I'm looking at the buildings and the cameras are friggin' everywhere. Yes. And I went to New York. Cameras everywhere. How do you think they catch criminals these days?
Don't go to South Korea. They have more cameras than that. They're everywhere.
When I checked in Shanghai, don't they take all the pictures and the retinal scans?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's maybe indicative of Asia. It is a camera society everywhere.
They kind of make the best ones.
No, but I'm saying, being in the country, citizens are basically conditioned and understand and accept that wherever you go, there's some level of surveillance.
And you have given your fingerprints before. They don't change as you get older. So they have your fingerprints. They have pictures of you in stages of development from when you were getting braces. So they can identify you really easy with today's technology. And all you do is now you just walk right in. They just take your picture and you walk right in. Now, if you would like to avail yourself of this and you are on American Airlines and you have TSA PreCheck, go to the American Airlines site on a computer, no mobile device. It'll take you a second. You log in and go to the information and password section of your profile. It's easy to find. Then click the box next to opt in to TSA Touchless ID. Click. Bingo. You're in. And you'll have to renew every year. And I'm telling you, a lot of credit cards do pay the fees for TSA PreCheck and for Global Entry. If this is something you can get if you're planning a trip, no matter what, Global Entry, like I said, that's platinum, and TSA PreCheck is gold. It makes your airport experience 1,000 times better.
I co-sign. I have both, and I would recommend them to anyone and everyone.
And by the way, they do give you a little Global Entry card.
Yep.
Which you don't need a real ID when you have that, and it doesn't have your home address on it.
Nope.
Think about that. When you have a real ID, you're showing your address to whoever you're showing your card to. Real federal government IDs, where they've checked you out, do not put your home address on it. So the TSA PreCheck, the mobile passport card, which is also good for ID, does not have your home address on it. Think about it.
Marsha Collier, you always give us great advice, usable advice. Very quickly, how can people find you to follow up if they want more advice?
I'm on Twitter. My website is marshacollier.com. And usually once a week, somebody emails me with a tech problem, and I help them work through it. So I love the emails, and I'll find the answers. I
like it how you're available, you're accessible, your information is relatable, digestible, all those things, and why we enjoy having you here every single week.
Thank you, Mo. And Android Smartphones for Seniors for Dummies is on sale, and it's really a good book.
See you next week.
You bet.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
Did you just double dip that shit? Excuse me? You double dipped the chip. Double dipped? What are you talking about? You dipped the chip, you took a bite, and you dipped again. So? That's like putting your whole mouth right in the dip. Look, from now on, when you take a chip, just take one dip and end it.
KFI, it's later with Mo Kelly. We're live on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app. Double dipping has a long history connected to social etiquette. It's one of those things that you just don't do, or at least historically. But now it seems, on a scientific level, there is evidence, or data, I should say, to suggest that it doesn't necessarily spread germs in the way that you and I have been taught, or what we believe. For me, it doesn't make any difference. There are certain things you shouldn't do. You should not bite a chip and then put that same chip with the bitten edge into the dip to then scoop and bite it again. Now, it's more than about germs per se. It's about it being inappropriate, and I think it is insensitive to other people, because I always think, here's the easiest way to think about social etiquette. It's not okay for you to do if it's not okay for everyone to do. And would you want everyone double dipping in that same dip? Hells to the no. Now, Stefan, I like you as a person. Mark, on occasion, I like him as a person.
But
I would rather you didn't double dip if we're at the same party, or if we're at the same, tub of dip that we're having to rely on.
You're not going to have to worry about that with me. I would shame somebody if I saw them doing it anywhere.
Okay. This is one of those things where, I always say, get the easy ones right. I don't give a damn what the Washington Post or any type of scientific study has to say. Look, I am going to disavow any supposed fact which is coming this way. My eyes are good enough. Yeah. If I see you double dipping, we're going to have a misunderstanding.
It's just disrespectful.
It's gross. Would you lick off an ice cream cone somebody else was using?
No.
Yeah, yes, it's right there. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. And it's not like it's only like just a little tiny minuscule amount of germs. It's the principle.
Yeah.
This is like the movie Friday. We're talking about principalities here.
Yeah, I don't care if it's trace elements or a whole mouthful of spit. I don't want any of it at all. I want to be in control of other people's fluids and germs that I take in.
I'll give you another example. I love my wife, okay?
Sure you do.
No, I do.
If you say so.
But there are things that I would rather not share with my wife. In other words, if she were to take her fork, put it in my food, and then try to feed me with her fork, number one, stay out my plate. First and foremost.
Stay out my plate, yeah.
Stay out my plate.
Really?
Really.
With your wife?
Really.
That's a little psychotic.
I don't like that. No. Right. And she'll tell you in a heartbeat.
Listen,
not to do that.
Okay, that's weird.
No, I don't want to get too graphic here, but if you've
and we have,
I know where you're going,
and we have, but I'm just saying,
don't get too precious about a fork.
Look,
okay?
No. Look, there are understandings when there are boundaries, things that are extracurricular. But to me, if I have a cup in front of me, if I'm drinking my juice or whatever I'm drinking.
Out of your sippy cup? Yes.
Out of my sippy cup. Yeah. And anyone I'm dating decides, let me taste it. What does that taste like? I'm going to push the cup back over to them and say, oh, no, you can go on and finish that.
And I hope they don't date you again.
And finish that.
I hope they leave you after that.
You can keep that filthy mouth-swabbed cup and drink the rest of it. Let me go to
this is somebody, wait, just a second. This is somebody who you're going to have an open mouth kiss with at some point?
Exactly, Mark.
Why? Yeah. How do you care?
Hold on. Let me break it down, okay? First, Riri says in the Motown chat, I will not bite off a sandwich already bitten. Either will I.
Yeah, no.
Either that's a no.
Well, if it's some dude you don't know on a park bench.
Part of it. The first is it's boundaries. Number one, and two, yes. Twala, I think, said it best. Extracurriculars, you're letting down some boundaries, but outside of extracurriculars, it's a hell's no.
You both need urgent mental health.
Okay, see, that's weird because I can see Tawala's point if it's like a brand new relationship.
Okay, let me put it this way. We're all thinking it. Just because I put my tongue in someone's mouth doesn't mean that I want you eating off my plate and I'm just going to eat off your fork. No.
So weird.
I have put my mouth all over a significant other's body in all types of places. And if afterwards we are sitting and eating and she decides to take a bite, I'm like, you can go on and finish that. You can go on and finish all of that.
You are floridly insane.
I might be. I might have had my tongue in places that it shouldn't be. Okay. But I still don't know.
You were saying we're insane.
That's how far it goes for me. I want you to understand. Don't double dip in front of me. Don't try to get a bite of what I've had. Get your own.
Here, let's just
straight up.
Let's play this out like a Mad Lib. If you've ever put your blank in someone's blank, or it's like a match game.
Correct.
Yes. Then you can't get too precious about a fork or double dipping. I promise you I
can. If I'm eating a chicken wing, you cannot say, let me have a bite and think I'm gonna get it back. If I'm sitting sucking on a lollipop, you can't say, let me get a lick. Hell to the no.
Who wants to share a chicken wing, first of all?
Mark, what you're literally saying is, you know what? You've been chewing that gum for a little bit. Let me go on and finish it off. That's what you just said. That's exactly what I hear.
That's not the same thing.
No, yes, it is.
It absolutely
is. You're arguing, and let me just boil it down to its smallest components. Because you do this, you should be okay with that.
Slippery slope. That's a fallacy.
No, it doesn't.
No,
it doesn't work
not
that
necessarily.
way.
It's just the fact that like you're able to exchange fluids, but you can't have a bite of the sandwich.
Isn't exchanging fluids? But you see that's a problem because it bothers you, right?
Right.
No. Because that's different. Okay,
how is it different?
Let's say you just
your mouth to her mouth.
Let's just say you made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. So you take a bite and they want a bite. That's it.
It's not coming back to me.
See, that's weird.
If I bite it and then she takes a bite of it, it's done.
That's your sandwich now.
That is so weird.
I hope you enjoy the sandwich that I made. Finish it off, babe.
Oh, my God.
Do you guys walk around your houses in hazmat suits? What do you do?
You know what, Mark? You, double dipping should be on this side. About germs.
Double dipping is connected to the principle. It's not about whether there are actual germs. It's about boundaries. And I have to allow you to cross that boundary. When you're talking about sexual or romantic contact, there is an agreement, a mutual agreement in that moment that we're allowing those boundaries to fall.
Oh, okay. So when you're not actually in the moment of sexual intercourse with your wife,
stay the frick out my plate.
Don't touch my food. Don't touch the food.
Correct. Correct.
Okay, but here's the thing: if you guys just don't like people taking your food, I get that. That's like the boundaries, like you were saying. But if you're using sanitation as an argument, that's where I'm like, that's weird.
It has nothing to do with sanitation. It has to do with the fact that I don't want your germy mouth touching my gumbo. I'm telling you, I'm eating a bowl of gumbo, or a girl comes around and says, "Oh, that looks good. Let me get a bite." Sure, I'll make you a bowl.
You would
Sure thing. I will make you your own bowl. There you go, babe.
Even gumbo?
Point of clarification here. You're dating or married to somebody and they just want a spoonful of your gumbo and you say, go to hell, get your own?
I don't say go to hell, get your own. I say, here you go. Here's your own bowl.
It's the same thing.
You know what? You may think so.
But you'd be wrong.
That's in your own little world.
Oh my God.
Okay, now we can finally disagree, Mark, because Twala and I are all the way on the same side here.
Yeah,
you're all the way.
You're all the way certifiable.
Us and Carnisha against you.
That's okay.
It's just not romantic. Where's the romance?
I don't want to hear about your romance.
It's not about romance.
Ask me to make you a sandwich.
That's
don't
right.
ask for a bite of mine.
Yes, there are two different things here. We're talking about one, don't eat off my plate. Mm-hmm. Okay, I don't care if you come with a plastic spoon out of that plastic baggie and it hasn't touched anything else. That is one thing. But if you eat off my plate or you bring your nasty ass fork, which you've been eating with your whole meal, and then you want to put it in my mouth, I will politely say go to hell.
Carnish, you got to make a poll.
I have a poll.
Okay.
Let me run something past
it's about
you.
double dipping. So 86% say yes, double dipping is gross.
Thank you.
Yeah. Now we need this one. would you share with your significant other?
This is all about double dipping.
Yeah, correct.
You come around me and try to double dip in front of me, I'm slapping whatever you have on your plate out your hand.
You need counseling.
So if you guys are, let's just say, having chips and dip, you have to have your own dip.
You
correct.
Damn right.
What? Yes.
Wow.
If
and it'll be over there.
Get your own plate. Put some dip on your plate, get your own chips, and go and stand over there and eat it.
I'll go one step further.
Yeah, separate rooms.
We're not even putting our hands in the same area of chips. You better have your chips on your plate.
On your plate.
Yeah,
we're not pulling from the same pool of chips.
Drive with the dip to a different location while you're at it. Listen,
why not?
Let me run something past you here. Years and years ago, in fact, I think it was in college, I had a girlfriend whose kink was to spit booze into my mouth. Would you allow that?
Wait. Remember what I was talking about? What's his name? Smokey Robinson last night? You're doing too much. I don't want to know that much. I don't want to know that much.
Statute of limitations. It was decades ago.
Okay. I don't care when it was.
Hey, Mark. Dude, spit on that thing. Is that what happened? Is that what you're having over there, Mark?
That is 100% different.
Okay. That's different.
Yeah.
A mouthful
beer
of
in my mouth.
A mouthful of wine is different than Hawk Tua. And if you don't know the difference,
Mark, if you don't know the difference,
Hawk Tua and spit on that thing.
how dare you?
Okay, we got to take a break.
And
I know this conversation is going to carry over to the hallway, but we're going to come back and finish this on the other side.
Let's keep it on the air.
Tuwala and me, we're right. The rest of y'all are wrong and y'all nasty.
Guys are crazy.
Check yourself into a
Nasty.
facility.
No, y'all nasty.
crazy.
There's a difference, okay? I feel like Donald Trump. Nasty. Y'all are nasty.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
KFI is Later with Mo Kelly. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app. And if you're not on YouTube with us, y'all are missing out.
You are missing out.
We have added a new segment where if there's a real hot conversation that carries over to the break, we'll take you to commercial with us, and we're talking out there with Daniel, and it gets real blue with the humor and the language and everything. It's not meant for public consumption. We learned some stuff about Tuwala, maybe too much.
hey,
look, we were talking about
keep it real.
Keep it 100.
Yeah.
100 at all times.
And we were having a discussion about whether it started with double dipping. That was the news story where double dipping, not a measurable amount of germs are supposedly transferred in double dipping. So they're saying social stigma aside, it's okay to double dip. And I said, hell no, F that. I don't double dip. I don't allow a woman to take her fork and put it on my plate, which after she's been eating with this, like, no, I'm not going to if she offers me her glass, I'm not going to drink out of glass. Oh, I'll turn it around and drink from the other side. And Mark and Stefan thought like I'm like crazy or insane to use Mark's word. Those are the rules. Now, what I may do in bed, because that's where the conversation went.
Yeah.
You're trying to say that if you put your mouth here, you should have no problem with putting your mouth there. It's not the same, because I said when two people have agreed to let down the physical boundaries and then you cross those boundaries, it's an agreement. No means no. All right? And if I say keep your fork out of my freaking plate, no means no.
I just want one little bite. Hey, don't end this relationship. Don't mess around and end this relationship.
No wonder you're single. No wonder.
Hey, look, call it what you want. Call it what you want.
The people in the chat say 70% say they do share food with their significant others. So it really is only y'all two.
No,
everybody else share food.
70% is not 100%.
Right.
But it's enough.
Just because, look, just like my mother said, I don't care what the crowd is doing. I need to worry about you. Okay. I worry about me. If all of you say that you want to share food with your partner, you don't mind your partner, your significant other, your spouse eating off your plate, great. Do you? That will never happen with me. And my wife could be listening right now and she would say, that's right, it'll never happen with him. Because we always have the conversation and she'll say like, hey, you want to try some of this? No, I'm good.
Yeah.
Because I know you've been eating off the plate. No.
Yeah, I'm all right.
I'm good. Yeah. I'm good. Thank you.
So she does share. Or she would.
No, she will offer.
But I'm saying she would, though.
If
she would.
And ladies, especially you, Carnesius, in there, if you hear your man say, "Nah, I'm good," that's exactly what he's thinking. Nah, I don't want that. It's been all in your nasty mouth. No.
Well, I don't have that problem.
I'm just look. All I'm saying
be careful. Be careful. Don't tell too much.
If you ever hear your man say, "Nah, I'm all right," it's not because he's not hungry. He might be thinking to himself, "Damn, that looks good."
Yes.
Nah, I'm all right. That means he's just looking at you like, and you do. Here's you.
Here's a true story. My wife will go out and we'll eat whatever she's eating. She'll say, and she's being very polite, "Would you like to try some of this?" And my answer is always the same. Tuala, what do you think the answer is?
No, I'm okay.
Okay,
no, I'm good.
It doesn't matter.
Okay, hypothetical. So let's say you guys go out to dinner and the food gets there and she hasn't eaten it yet, and she offered it to you. Would you take it?
I probably wouldn't. I'd probably still, but for different reasons. One, because if our food has just come here, I'm getting ready to eat what I want to eat.
Yeah. Well, okay.
I want the taste that's going into my mouth.
Correct.
If we are at dinner and what I have looks so good, you say, can I try some of that? Don't pick your fork up and come near me with your weaponized fork.
Oh my God.
I will cut some off and I will put it onto your plate.
So
that is socially acceptable.
Okay.
Here you go. Here's a portion for you. But don't be in my plate with your grubby hands and your fork trying to get a bite of mine.
Now, if this accidentally
Blank outta
happened,
here.
if you inadvertently consumed something like that, would you instantly require
How can you inadvertently?
Yeah, what am I doing? I'm blind. I can't see what I'm doing.
Did I turn my back and all of a sudden she just licked my whole plate? Like, I mean, what are we talking about?
What is that, Mark?
These things happen.
No, it doesn't happen.
Do you have some sort of high security eating setup where you live? Is it? Do you have like one of these machines, like the Rube Goldberg things, where
Mark,
it'll put one bite
food.
into your mouth?
Mark, I finish my food. I don't get. Oh, I gotta go wash my hands. Or oh, let me go do this and leave my food in. No, I finish my food. I'm eating. I finish my food.
I got to interject real quick. Motown is out of control. You have to get on YouTube right now. You have to be part of this conversation. That's the only way I can describe it. There is no way for you to understand how real and legitimate this debate is unless you're seeing us. This is real. It's not for effect. It's not performative in any way. The people in the Motown chat are out of control because they're all over the place with this. This is not like a unified concept. We're not in unity about whether people can just eat off people's plate.
No, they want you to have a mental health intervention right now. Now, if you somehow realized that you'd taken a bite off something someone else close to you had been eating, would you require like an immediate Karen Silkwood wire brush and hose scrub down?
I'm putting it in a napkin and spitting
Mark,
it out.
You know what I don't do? I don't go around like parties and things like that and just go, oh, what's this? I'm checking out the scene. When we have parties upstairs and we have those buffet lines, you notice I'm never first in line to get anything. I want to see what everyone's doing first. I always make sure I'm last.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about when we have like those
when they have like
parties on the fifth floor,
and
the
stuff,
buffets and
the
stuff,
buffets.
yeah.
I'm never first in line. I want to see what's happening first.
But what could be happening? What are you worried about?
You know what? Double dipping.
Yeah, no,
people trying some, licking their fingers, then going back for more.
But see, that makes sense because people are gross. They don't wash their hands.
People
now
are
gross. See?
No, but come on around, Poosh. Come on around.
No. But
you're making an argument perfectly.
You live with someone and you share fluids. You can't have the same bowl of chips.
No.
Golly.
I want my own.
You're both going to
bowl.
die alone.
You know what?
Says the unmarried one.
That's a good point.
Put a ring on it first, Mark.
Right.
Well,
nobody wants to marry my student loan. That's the only issue there.
Oh, sure.
I'm sure there's other things too.
Right.
Like sharing food.
Yeah, that's the crux of it. Sharing food.
God, you guys are nuts.
Seriously, certifiable, insane.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
It's a good thing that we have Sam the sex doctor coming in next because this is probably going to roll into the conversation. So if you're on YouTube or Instagram right now, do not go anywhere. This is out of control and you have to see it to believe it. It's the whole point of having the YouTube simulcast for moments just like these. In fact, when we go to break, we're going to have more of Mo Unfiltered during the news. And so you get to hear this conversation continue in the hallway. It's Later with Mo Kelly, KFI AM 640 live everywhere on YouTube, Instagram, and the iHeartRadio app.
Heard any of our secret mind control hidden messages recently? No? That's because we're really good at it.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live